Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the June 12th edition of the Bottomline Liberia. We are going to be discussing issues relevant to our country, Liberia. We will be looking at the millennium, what you call it, the scorecard, millennium challenge, collaboration, the MCC scorecard, and we'll be reviewing the President Boyka's remark at the meeting held with his ministers and other government officials. So tonight we have on the panel Lord Chodope from England, the friend of Prince Charles.
King Charles.
Okay, King Charles now. Excuse me, sir. And I have Mr. Mark Farr from Stockholm, Sweden. Welcome, guys. Welcome to.
Thank you, Francis.
Thank you very much, sir.
How is it in your various locations? Got Mark and I in the same jurisdiction, so to speak. So nothing strange. So I mean, we share similar weather and conditions. So, well, Paul, how is it with you at your end?
Man, it's been wonderful today. We had a cloudy day, no rain, and in Liberia, the people say it's a friendly weather. But then later on this evening, around about 6, the sun just came from nowhere and made the place interestingly warm. So I don't know. That's why it is. So it's kind of beautiful here, and we just give God the glory that we have a beautiful day. And I also want to say it's good being among the living, and I'm pleased to be in paradise. Guys, let's have a discussion tonight.
Awesome. Brother Mark, how is it? I mean, how's Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden is good. Stockholm is good, as you said. We got the same kind of, but sometime on your end, you live on the other side of town, and I live on the other side of town. So sometimes the weather can be a little bit different, but today it's been wonderful. And I want to say welcome to our audience. Yeah. And how you doing, Brother Menzo?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm going great. We're having a very awesome weather. The weekend promises to be good as well. And so let us jump into the discussion. First of all, we'll take a commercial break and our intro. And then we'll look at the whole MCC scorecard and the president crying, begging a minister. I beg you, y'all don't let the people tell our money away. What we got resources. Look, we will delve into this thing critically and look at this bunch of government officials, the rescue mission, though. So yeah. So we'll take our musical break for our intro. Then we after that we go directly into the show.
My people, where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you. That's why we both tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you. That's why we both tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Invite your friends, share the show. It's going to be interesting tonight. They lied to us. They continue to lie to us. So is the rescue mission lying to us again, like the other missions? We will delve into it. I mean, Liberia government passed 12 of the indicators and failed 10. So, guys, get a bottle of water this Friday. Get a bottle of beer or a glass of wine, and then let's dissect the whole the MCC scorecard for Liberia. Before we go into the topic, two Liberians are playing today in the World Cup. One from Canada, one representing Canada, and one representing the United States of America. Timothy Weah and Alfonso Davis. So wish them good luck out there. Although they're not flying Liberian flag, but they have Liberian heritage. So yes. Paul,
Yes.
Mike, let's look at the scorecard for the MCC scorecard, Liberia. I mean, we pass all the other things. We pass, the bribery. We pass all the other things that we pass. The rare thing that we feel in the rule of law, trade policies, access to credit, employment opportunities, business startup, workforce, workforce development, natural resources protection. We got all the Chinese people taking our resources. B Martin, Answer Meta, they all know, taking our resources and giving up peanuts. In return, they got child health, the mortality rate has increased. Girls' primary education completion. Girls can have no in sixth grade. There's no, I don't know what's going on. The government effectiveness. So, guys, first of all, let's look at the rule of law. So, we'll start with Mark. What's your take on the rule of law in Liberia? Why it looks like? I mean, there's no. We always talk about rule of law. We think, the judicial system, uh, uh, freedom of speech, you know, people being sacked from the attending position. So, what's your take on the rule of law?
Yeah, the rule of laws in all, I mean, aspect has been broken by this government, violated by this government after 1 year into office, and where people expectation was high when it come to everything that the president and the rescue team they campaign on. So and the citizens themselves, they don't respect even the rules of law that are currently existing in the country. And it has something to do with the government itself, from the government, and they get passed down on to the citizens. Because if the government well behave in respecting the rules of law, then the citizens themselves are going to follow suit. But the government itself doesn't respect the rule of laws in the country. So where they come to, the idea of you being an opposition and being serving in a position because you did not vote for them, or someone say you did not vote for them, they come and remove you from your position. That also is a violation of the rule of law. And then two, if you are not what you call, if you're in a security apparatus and they notice that you did not support them or vote for them, you lost a position. There were a lot of men that got dismissed from the security apparatus because they did not support the government. So the rules of law being violated in all areas. For example, it did not even stop there. It went after lawmakers. So when you go after lawmakers, then the international, forgetting to know that most embassies in every country, they are not there for because they love you. They are there for their own interest. Most especially the NPC, you got the working embassy that got the highest, how do you call it, support mission when it comes to employment in the country. They are they look everything in the country. So the rules of law that apparently, I mean, is taken into the
Yeah, but no, Mike. I mean, you had a laundry list of all the things that the government did. Or within the space of 1 year. That they did not actually, uh, honor the rule of law, the basic things. I mean, like employing people. Going. I mean, not employing, just missing people from their job because they did not vote for you and things like that. So that all the things are very concerning. And then you expect to pass, I mean, the MCC scorecard and rule of law. So, Paul, what your take on it? on this whole MCC's, where we feel the 10 basic things of the, yeah, the rule of
Oh,
law.
thank you, Francie, and thank you, Mark. First, I want to say to our audience, welcome to the Bottom Line discussion this Friday edition. I mean, Francie, from the start, the way the government proceeded is just showing that they were not going to pass. And to start with the rule of law, could we imagine removing or tenure position and replacing with somebody? They take you to court, the court say you violated, restore the person, the government refused. That alone, you just broke the law. So they've been doing it consistently. They have not stopped. The removal of a sitting speaker that the Supreme Court came out and said, what you didn't do right, go and do it. The government ignored the Supreme Court. That break a rule of law. So it's something that they've been doing. So for the MCC scorecard to point to that, I mean, it's not surprising at all. We saw the situation with Mark Coulson, that the court took decision on the man also that he could not express or he could not go to any other court to seek redress of his action. That break of rule of law. So the whole thing is just, you see, a bit from they want just go along. Look what happened with the legislature, removal of somebody who said something that we don't want. These are all things that we all look at. So it's one government, whether it's the legislature, the executive, the justice system, it's all one. So they all been violating. So it does not surprise me at all. This is what it
Look,
is, man.
but look, look, let me play the devil advocate. Look, the rule of law, upholding the rule of law has been a major problem in Liberia, for decades, So, uh, I think our own ecosystem, political, for you to govern effectively, I mean, those things need to, the rule of law need to be broken. Because if you allow all these people to be talking, the tapata around there, but under the disguise of free speech, our people not enlighten. So I think that would be a problem too. I mean, so I just been the devil advocate. So sometimes you cite there, some cases about, like, people being removed from the position because of they said things, that was inimical to the present government uh, 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 position. It felt threatening the government. But having said that, uh, I think the rule of law has been broken from day one.
Yeah.
You
It,
know,
it, it, ha- it has been, but and one of the reasons for this is that we do not respect institution. Because if we respect institution, first of all, the the final body when it comes to institution that could interpret the constitution is the Supreme Court. And if a case is taken before the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court come up with a final finding or decision, that decision need to be respected. But because the institution is not respected and the other institution don't know their function, so for that reason they kind of crisscross over one another as to who is above who, because the first branch of government, which is the legislature, they have become one of the main violators of the rules of law in the country. For example, how they remove the speakers, how they remove now sitting lawmakers, and how they threaten other people that if you don't do this, this is what it's going to be for you. So the whole country now is kind of on of turn into a police state because the two branches of government, the executive and the first branch, they are working hand in hand. So in the long run, you're going to find a Supreme Court to say, okay, I go with the flow, and that is very dangerous.
No, all right. Okay, I mean, I think, I mean, we have said it. We have said some. We can spend the whole night talking about how the rule of law is broken. And we come next, we will still be talking about how the rule of law, no, has now been under or regarded in Liberia since this rescue government came to being, and the past governments as well, because there has been a major problem for almost all the government, all the administration.
But Frank said, though, it's funny because if I want to put this off our audience, and so we can pick on it. Look, rule of law is in the arrest agenda. It's one of the key one. But then, funny, the thing that you sort of cherish is it's on the 5 pillars that you have, and then you break it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Talk
but
to
I
me.
think look, that will give every government hard time when you come to leadership on the basis of satisfying your partisans, because and your sympathizer, because you have to break the law to enable your citizens get job, to enable them be satisfied, because that's how our politics is being preached, how it's being run, how it's being practiced. So there's to be a major problem over the years, because I mean this is not going to change soon. Because as I stated, all the administration didn't fail the rule of law. She passed no
Oh,
other aspect of it. We have failed the same thing as well. And in 2 times administration she failed the rule of law.
I will little bit disagree with you here, Brother Francis. And the reason for this is that if a government, okay, if a responsible government that want to do the people job before getting, first of all, because these are government, from the alien government to the WEA administration, and now to the Unity Party government, these are people that were unprepared, okay? They were unprepared as to what if tomorrow come and we become the party to lead tomorrow. You understand? They were not putting their chessboard, their drawing board together as to what to do for the people, because a responsible government won't employ everybody. Not all the partisans will have to, how they call it, say, if you get 800,000, you can go and employ 800,000 of your partisans in the government. But what you do, you're going to invest in the private sector where people will find opportunity and make more money, instead of saying, oh, yeah, I'm going into government, or I want to work in government before I can survive. Because you do not have a responsible government to do the actual job for the people. So they think that, oh, yeah, by employing a government job have become the soul of survival. So that's where the problem is.
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense. It makes no sense, but I mean, such a government, we're not going to see it anytime soon in Liberia, because it falls. I mean, we will be talking about trade policy, but just to piggyback on what you just said, look, where our politics is structured, uh, in post-war Liberia, I mean, the room for what you call investment is very gloomy, because corruption is high. Everybody. You bring your money into the country. Every time they can have want to have share of your money. Then your investor, they're not contributing anything to their money. Everybody want percentage. They want kickback. So at the end of the day, you scare investors. But anyway, let me just quickly add a joke here before we go to our next topic, the trade policy. So I wonder what would be the scorecard for America on account of the rule of law with Trump there.
I
It's
think
gonna be minus zero.
I think it'll be double. It'll be more than minus double zero because
But these people calling, they want other countries around the world to to conform to the rule of law, human rights, and they got a president. I want to see the American government,
I, I,
or
I,
it's not applicable
Well,
to them.
no,
I just don't want to jump ladder, that's all, because we got other topic to cover according to the program,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
agenda.
but we have
But
2 minutes on the wall.
if Liberia was you had a responsible government, I don't think there would be. I wanted to reserve this comment. I don't think they would be queuing or concerned about what the heck America had to say when it comes to you passing school shit, but because they don't know what to do for their people. You can have your own resources, and then you begging for 300-400 million. You want to lose sleep overnight.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with Mark. You see, when you are backer, if you are backer, you cannot go telling somebody that you're begging to clean their house. This person who you begging can tell you, because you depending on him, can tell you whatever they want to tell you. Could you imagine these people, there's World Cup going on, they talk about human right. They they refusing people to enter because they don't like you. And so it just tell you that they go somewhere, they bomb any nation they want to bomb, and then it come to you and say, look, you have to respect the rule of law. So I don't think these people, because we are backers, so we accept it. That's the thing when you become a backer. So why will you, God bless you, that you have everything that you can make a lot of money from, and you still backing people?
You
Something
know,
just is not
you,
right, my
you,
brother.
when it comes to America talking about rules of law,
Yeah.
for example, this is why I love George Galloway. I can remember there was an incident in the 2002 invasion of Iraq when he said Iraq never had no weapon of mass destruction, and he was like called upon someone to Congress, and he went before Congress and he dismantled the whole group. All of them were quiet, and it's like when you talk about rules of law, you put that go around the world and kill other people, innocent people, wage war, doesn't respect the United Nations, doesn't respect any kind of institution around the world. And you talk about rules of law. So Liberia is a beggar. Guy own mineral, you begging somebody.
Okay, guys. So I mean, the transition to trade
Yeah.
policy. Um, so what is our trade policy? I mean, trade policy is basically what you would call a blueprint, a framework, a regulation of how you go about uh, negotiating. I mean, trade agreements with other with businesses, with nations, with yeah. So I mean, I don't know how is it how come we fail that? Because that should be an easy thing for us. How
Well,
do we go about it?
the thing is, if you look, I'll give example. The ATM terminal at the free port, Liberians not benefiting from it. Liberians are feeding the hardship when you ship things to Liberia. That's one. So the policy there is bad. If you look at the B Mountain, how are we benefiting? Those guys take tons of gold from B Mountain, from Cape Mount every blessing day. How is the country benefit? So that the trade policy they have is not benefiting us. Guess what? Recent time, the government took 200 million from Metal Steel, and that 200 million they took, how is it benefiting us? It went into their budget, said that the creator that will reach 1.2 billion dollars based on that money and go into salary. How does it benefit? So the policy is not good. I think that's why the MCC scorecard is saying your trade policy is bad, because if you have a trade policy, the citizen should benefit, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because I mean, a lot of dubious concessions, agreements are being you know drafted, agreed upon by our legislators, uh, and these policies does not provide any economic growth to the people. People are still, living on the margins. Some people, they are even underpaid. In this modern day and age, the people bring their own people from abroad, and we have no uh, regulatory instrument. We have it on the books, but the enforcement of those regulatory implements, I mean, it is not working. Man, these are it's a fact that, I mean, we need to do better, and I think the government, yeah, actually failed that one as well, because there's no justification for that. But before going to other, any more, you guys got
Our
any more thought
our
on it?
our trade policy is bad, both domestic and international, on an international level. So the few multinational companies that come to Liberia, they benefit, and the local Liberian, I mean, businesses suffer. And the few what you call investors that come into the country, when it come to like opening small businesses like stores and stuff, they also have a bad behavior, and the government does nothing about it when it comes to distribution. That's supposed to be done by Liberian, things that Liberians supposed to be the retail, retailing, right,
Yeah.
resale. So these are things that Liberians supposed to be doing, which are very bad, and it hurts Liberia. And then two, we're talking about this what you call trade policy, but this trade policy, you got like I think Arcelor, they are from Europe. You got Beer Mountain, they are from Turkey, and you got the China Mound, right? They are from China. But we I hope this also bad what you call trade policy include American companies also, like the Firestone, like this APN terminal there at, I think Dosh. Then you let us go down to before even said this crisis, before you and I, there were a lot of American companies out in Liberia by that time, even though they never came up with this millennia challenge, blah 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 that they came up with. But Liberia has had a bad trade policy that always favor foreign investors than the Liberian themselves. So for which this country were being exploited, for which we always get a drop in the ocean, not even drop in the bucket. So our trade policy has been very very bad. Like for example, I don't want to for we will come to employment opportunity, because this also tap into employment opportunity. I wish that we could make everything just one, to downsize the program for a little bit. Could combine few of them into one basket, for example, like this employment opportunity, trade policy, which we
Mhm.
could combine workforce development. Yeah. So the trade policy has never favored Liberia in any way.
But that's a fact, because look, most of the businesses that, that should be Liberian, reserved for Liberian exclusively, I mean, are being, you know run by foreigners.
If you
And they go.
sorry, Mr. Mensah. If you check the history of why every president, a few president, for example, why Toba was assassinated, why Doe was removed, they had to how you call create this ethnic tension between the manor and the crown, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
Nimbadan and the Granjiden, you
Yeah.
understand? But that wasn't the actual reason, but it was all connected to bad trade policy. The other side want to take the big side of the bigger side of the pie, and then Liberia get the crumbs. So for that reason, they have to remove two Liberian presidents that were trying to develop their country. So, for example, let us go to Lamco Yekepa. Let us go to the, how they call it, a bomb mining company. Let us go to the Firestone I've been in Liberia all those years. Let us go to the VOA. Let us go to the Ominga. All these companies were in Liberia. And at that time, they were making billions, hundreds of billions of dollars from Liberia. And what Liberia benefit out of those? You can't find any trade mile of these concession anywhere on the internet. Are there anybody to go and find them? Oh, but these documents are kept one side across the ocean, but you can't find them. Can anybody tell me why was the National Archive Center burned down? A document was looted. But people, a lot of people have not done this, gotten this other information. Okay, our Aka Center for no reason it was looted, and they all that refugees that were in the building they looted the building. No, I been not looted by no refugee. But people went there because these are documents that we can trace back on as to putting the broken pieces together. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think you said it right. I think, I mean, we will have to condense some of the topics into one, one or two. So, I mean, we would the workforce development. We can combine it with, I mean, the trade policy, employment opportunities, or probably we can do it next week.
exactly.
Or we can do six today and do six tomorrow, or five today, five tomorrow. I don't know, but I think
Yep,
we have
yeah,
the time. We can go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Paul,
Yeah.
let's look up some of these things, man. Business startup. Because these, I mean, startups. I mean, you have, venture capitalists, or probably the government itself can sponsor some of these, small businesses, start up, but the resources are not there. I mean, it has been. I mean, we see that the government has some grant for $5,000, two, $300. What can it do for? I mean, if you were to, get involved in the real business, everything is the Yana market money they're giving all to people. So what's the take about the whole business startup, in Liberia? Because it should be basically, I mean, government should have some fund somewhere, or, to help, small businesses get on their feet.
Yeah, they came up with a thing called liberalization, that policies they wanted to come up with to help Liberia, but then to find out in the end, the foreigners started benefiting from it. So what you also have, they have Access Bank that were brought in on the Eden government, and the Access Bank meant to help small businesses. But then the bad thing about the Access Bank, if you take money today, they gave you no less than 3 weeks for you to start paying back. So most of those businesses does not survive. So the government need to come up with policy that, look, they should have a loan scheme for people who want to invest and give them long-term uh, uh,
Payment plan.
repayment plan. Yeah. Say you take them, so that means the person will go get their goods. If they settle after 6 months or after 8 months, then they start paying back. But until that happens, people interested, because we know that the government is not employing people. So those, if you support small businesses, Liberian who want to start something that will have the technical know-how but does not have the money, this is where you present your paper, what you intend to do, how you intend to generate money. In the UK, they call it they have this group called the Dragon Den, where people will go to them and put forward their business idea and how to make money. They will vet them. And then if they see reason, they give you money to start up that business. So that's what the government needs to do because they
But
cannot employ everyone. And this is the situation
exactly.
that Liberia will face. Until they start doing that, if if we look at the amount of money that go into legislature vehicles, if you slash that money, half of that money, you know how many people will be employed by taking loan from the government? The amount of money that somebody can have a little corner shop somewhere. After 6, 7 months, they start paying the government small thing. And you know how many persons will be working there? So the full of people come and occupy all of those things that government should help a citizen. Farming, people want to farm. Somebody cannot even if they cannot even afford $1 to buy colors. So you need to help them. And this is what we're going. I think that's what they need to do.
Look, first of all, there are a lot of things wrong when it comes to this particular, area, right? One of the things is that jobs that are supposed to be reserved for Liberian are being done by foreigners, businesses, right? So no matter how much $1 billion, how much of $1 billion Liberian government put out there to help people with, small businesses owner, there are a few things that need to happen here. In order, even you, if they give you a long-term payment plan for 2, 3 years, and you are in Liberia, and you open a shop or you open whatsoever retailing business anywhere, and if the people that's supposed to come and buy from you, they are not seeing the money, they are not getting the money, there is no way you're gonna be able to pay that loan back. So in order for that to happen, people need to be paid good wages. People need to be, getting a salary on time, and then they will be able to the money will circulate. But if the money is not circulating, an economist. But if the money is not circulating, then it creates problem for the economy. The money is only in one sector, only in the hands of the politician. The ordinary people that are the strength of the economy, the small businesses that are the strength of the economy, they are not even seeing the money. Their husbands, their fathers are not seeing the money to even go and buy from people. So for that reason, it never gonna work for the poor. It's never
No,
gonna work.
no, but the thing is that with all these business development and trying to empower people, your economy you need to have at least a middle income class, a middle income economy where uh, people will be able to support these businesses, the people who are working, because there will be some level of cash flow. you know People will have that disposable income will be able to able to buy goods and services out of
You must
out of
have a good
particular
purchasing
skill.
power.
Yeah, out of a particular skill. But we don't have a middle class. So even how much the government can put money into uh startups and stuff, you know, do that come out and die because the ideas, nobody support the idea. If even you trying to be in an IT business, who you sell it to? 'Cause nobody, you don't have it. But see, like in Europe, yeah, we have that strong middle class. So people are able to buy services from companies and all stuff. And people have to be they are innovative and have support. But
You
you
know,
can we said it all, amigo.
let's just go to the ordinary people, the ordinary market women. Okay, a woman go take loan from somewhere and say she want $300 loan or $500 loan to sell rice. She go and buy 2, 3 bags of rice. The rice that she used to sell before, maybe half bag within a day, or in 2, 3 days time she sell a full bag of rice. She can barely sell a bag of rice within a month time. What do you think going to happen?
Okay. But so I mean that's I mean we at least I mean we have given our view on the start up. I think I mean let's go to I mean Paul, you want to take a break? I mean let's take a commercial break and be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
For this, while we're taking a commercial, we'll ask our audience to kind of share the show. This is quite interesting. Let me find this quick commercial break stuff, and then we flow.
Welcome to Your Story, where real lives meet real truth. I'm your host, Francis Monamenza, and every week I sit down with remarkable guests to uncover their journeys that shape their lives, the struggle they survive, the breakthroughs they earn, and the lessons that can change your life. This is not just a conversation, this is your story, a life experience that goes deep, gets real, and leaves you with something to think about long after the streams. Join us every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central European Time, live on the Bottomline Liberia. Don't just watch, be a part of the conversation because every story matters, especially yours.
Hey, brother, you wanna know what we doing down here? How we do, things we do, what we do. Yeah, let's do it for us.
Well,
Yeah, let's dive into employment opportunity.
oh yeah, I mean, welcome guys. I mean, let's go to let's check out the natural resource. You want to go? We want to discuss employment opportunities.
Yeah.
So, Francis, what can we listen to? Because this thing on the MCC scorecard, before we conclude on it, what can we listen to while the president was crying wolf?
Yeah, just after the employment opportunity, then we discuss it. Because the government, the president was sitting with his cabinet. All the guys are employed. They employ their cousins, their partisans. They are sack people for their jobs. People who are technocrats for all the years. So let's talk about how the government creating opportunities for people, employment opportunities.
Okay.
Is dress by dress in the military.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the government told us that they created 70,000 jobs in the president sooner. And then when we found out, it became a big thing and people question the government, where were the 70,000 jobs? Where did it come from? And Mo Ali, one of the government spokesperson, I may say, instead of doing water and sewer job, he told all the Shushan boys they're part of the employment. If you're selling cold water, it's part of the employment. So it could be. That's where they talk about the government employment opportunities. So I don't know, because if our country is a government that's employ over 80,000 people, and if you to create the avenue that would have private sector, this is what we get. I don't know how. So I think this is what the MCC is talking about. Why don't you invest into your people? There's so many things that you could do to bring, and we talk about foreign investors coming in and giving Liberians the opportunity which we spoke of, starting a small business. Those are all things that you get to employ. Employment comes by then. If I open Lake Kobo shop, I'll be able to employ one or two persons. If I have if I'm getting some sort of help, those are how you create jobs. Now, we look at the government, we're talking about ecotourism. And we know that every December the government want to do something, but it's just few handful of Liberia that decide to go visit, and then when they leave, the whole thing that. So I don't know. Maybe Mark have another view on this.
Yeah, my view on the whole thing is when it comes to employment opportunity is that the private sector employ more people than the government, right?
Yeah.
And this is how I see it. Uh, our policy in Liberia has been very bad, where the ordinary Liberian man can be empowered by the policy and the rules and regulation that is set up in a country that protects the jobs that Liberians supposed to do, the businesses that's supposed to be done by Liberian, like in other countries. Okay, so for example, someone come in a country, they want to open a store. Okay, you open a store, but you have to partnership with a Liberian. Or you open a store, you cannot go and do redistribution. That have to be, I mean, distribution. That has to be done by a Liberian. You want to do certain business, yeah. This business, you can invest in that area, but it has to be done by Liberia. You come in the country, for example, you want to do mining. Mining is a good thing. If we don't have the technician, then you bring the technician. But the rest of the job has to be done by Liberia. If we don't have that skill, we have to train people with that skill, or you come, you open a training center that will provide job opportunity for Liberia. But you can come, for example, with a mining company that's supposed to employ 2,500 people, and you bring 2,000 people, and you employ, you come from China, you employ 2,000 people. I mean, you bring 2,000 people, you employ 500 Liberians. You come from what you call Turkey, you bring, you're supposed to employ 1,800 people. You come with 1,500 people, you employ 300 Liberians. So we don't have the job protection. Until you put in a job protection and the kind of business right protection that Liberian only, this job is reserved for Liberian only. If that skill is not in the country, then you input that skill, okay, or you train people. If that job, you find out that that job in the long run going to be an area that going to need a lot of, I mean, employment, then the government start to invest in that area. Okay, there's a new opportunity, there's a new area, new career that going to require a lot of employment. So I think there where the government, our government for the past, not only this government, this one I won't put it on this government, but it's been a fair policy for a very long time in Liberia. We are not protecting jobs that's supposed to be reserved for Liberia until the legislature and the management, which is the executive branch, they come up with some laws that will protect Liberia and protect how they call it, businesses that come in the country to say, look, this job is only reserved for Liberia. You cannot go to Liberia to invest. Like other countries around Africa, around West Africa, have been the same thing.
Look, Mike. I mean, look, all these things you say, it falls under the same thing with the trade policy,
Yeah.
because these benchmarks need to be into these no agreements that will make and companies got to spell it out. After I said a method, what you call it, method
Mr.
C.
Steve, yeah.
They came to Liberia. This was the first 10 years. After that, company should be run by Liberians according to the agreement. Because people will be, you be trained along with
Uh,
managerial
uh,
positions.
uh, uh,
It's in the agreement. Managerial positions.
Moge, sorry. For example, even in Sweden here, if you come to Sweden, you want to open a business, or even you live in Sweden, you want to open a business, they tell you this business, if a business is a foreign business, they tell you you must have a Swedish manager, or you must partnership with a Swedish. Go ahead, but I just wanted to put that
Yeah,
in.
yeah. But I'm seeing that though. So I mean, we there's a lot of reason why Liberians are not giving credit. First of all, we have a weak trade policy, and you start implementing it, and they start to threaten you a little bit, threatening us. Matter of fact, oh, the program will leave. Oh no, no, no! You're still. You can do what you can do. You do what you have to do, or what you want to do. So these are some of the things that enable, that embolden most of the companies. Uh, you cannot have B Martin, other people, or other concession companies. They got their own people. They bring the cook, they bring in wheelbarrow boy, they bring in gardener, and give, what are we doing? So we just have a weak a system that cannot, empower people. Government cannot be the highest employer, which it is now, because they employ people, they employing people, and they're sacking more people than they being employed. I call it the wage bill. The government, even the wage, it has been bloated again as compared to what it was last year. So the next government come to do the same thing because the population is growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
And and
population
and,
growing.
and, and this is one of the areas that make me sometimes don't, uh, with all respect to the honorable lawyer, Big Brother Tawun Gonglo, he was at Labor Ministry as a lawyer. But what did he do during his time at Labor Ministry? Okay, to protect the jobs of Liberians, to protect the interests of Liberians.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the things we do. I mean, some of the policies that he put in. I mean, he brought in this $1,000 at a time for work permit. He thought that would have discouraged the people. Well, it was little or nothing. So
I
people
mean,
will bring the quality people
he
and give
brought
them
up
$1,000,
if
and they
the
were
one
looking at it
thousand.
as a way of contributing towards the government revenue generation as well. So these are all technical or policy flaw. The policy makers need to go back on the drawing board to see how best they can redesign or re-strategize our employment strategy for Liberians. Because again, all boils down to the country economy. Uh, you know, the environment is I mean security, I mean the rule of law, all those things, there are factors that affect
Yeah.
employment opportunities, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
okay. Yeah, but so let's go to the President Borga tip, and let's see what hear him crying about this.
Let's see. Okay.
The other thing we're talking about the MCC, which I reported the last time. It was interesting that we talk about the scorecard because all of us around here are responsible for what not just qualifying, but what will keep us qualified and what will continue to run that program. We thought it was necessary to share it because you could win it and then still, if you don't understand how you can contribute to making the scorecard work, can affect us. So we hope today that we can deal with these two areas.
This is very embarrassing and
All
laughable.
right,
Yeah.
Paul, can you run that stuff again? Please run that tip again. I've been listening to it, but I listened to it earlier on today. Just run it again.
The other thing we're talking about the MCC, which I reported the last time. It was interesting that we talk about the scorecard because all of us around here are responsible for what not just qualifying, but what will keep us qualified and what will continue to run that program. We thought it was necessary to share it because you could win it and then still, if you don't understand how you can contribute to making the scorecard work, can affect us. So we hope today that we can deal with these two areas.
Yeah, yeah. So Paul, what's your take on it?
Hmm. I just take a big home. We have plenty of land. It's in the arrest agenda agriculture that we could make plenty money off and stop asking for. We got to work towards MCC scorecard. That means we got to work for somebody taxpayer to give up money. Amen. All the tons of gold that B Mountain is taking from all of Liberia, why can you have a policy that the country benefit more? Amen. We get plenty of rivers. We have the longest coast, fishery. We can survive on it and make plenty money. And we depending on working hard for somebody taxpayer to give us money. Guys, it's a shameful business. In the 21st century, Liberia become what? 100 and what? 79 years old, and we still begging? Amen. We have plenty of things that we can do. I mean, it's just a shameful statement from the president. That's how I see it, guys.
And to add on that, you still have one of the richest uh, uh, ocean in West Africa, where you have foreign vessel coming to fish from the Maryland, the Sano, the Grand Cru, the River Belt, and coming as far as down to Cape Mount, because you don't have as how they call it, a equipped navy for them to travel. Because before the old days, our vessel, our navy, how they call it, used to
The
be
Coast Guard.
the Coast Guard. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to now. They used to be around the Cape Palmas area, all the way Sano. Used to have those ships oil on there to protect our 200 off the coast of Liberia, 200 miles. So then you got here is a president who they say have agriculture. He's an expert. He got the expertise. But do you know how much agriculture made from cocoa? Yearly, agriculture made up to $7 billion yearly from cocoa production. Okay, but yeah, you have someone who's an agriculturalist. It's not even what's the agriculture budget to say, okay, we invest this amount in agriculture, and in the next 10, 15 years, this is what it's going to be for us, for the country, even if I'm not president. They're not thinking about that. The agriculture budget to go on a party, I mean, to call for special dinner and stuff, is almost quarter of the agriculture budget. You got concession agreement in the country that you could revisit to say, wait a minute, these concessions were signed, for example, like the Freeport, the ATM, I know APM terminal, okay, at the Freeport, you could visit that for 25 years. Why in the hell were you given a 25-year extension? What did you do to get a 25-year extension? Let us go watch a documentary. Well, the documentary doesn't sue us. You want to carry us anywhere, but we cannot be getting, for example, 3 cents on a dollar and you making 97 cents on the dollar. The same thing with our Salameta, the same thing with Diamante. How much are we making on the dollar? Why did you guys, these not 50 years when your contract was expiring? Go over the contract and start know this thing. There was some sort of corruption here, because I don't know why a sound government will give you additional 50 years when we are getting dropped in the ocean or dropped in the bucket. So for that reason, this contract, even if you go before the international court, okay, the international court for adjudication or whatsoever court it is, they'll go before any court, they look at those documents, say, but wait a minute, I mean, you got to renegotiate with these people, because this contract, you cannot be making, for example, 2.5 billion out of a country, and the country is getting 200 million. When the citizen, you know why the government was giving the 200 million just a few times? Because the tension were coming from the citizen. So it was some sort of indirect bribery that they give to take the 200 million and say, oh, we helping the government. No, it's not a help, but it's indirect bribery The same thing with the terminal. When Georgia, why did Georgia extend the people contract for another 25 years when they were about to expire? Why? Why couldn't you leave that to the next government? Okay, so if you look into that, you go into something I expose sometime to a few friends of mine when we're talking. Most of our leaders, when these guys have put the devil in the detail, they only call and say, yeah, it's after a long talking, they say, oh, here's the play you're supposed to sign. They only show them the sign. Now, no signing your own devil wrong.
People
Well,
don't
are you
read.
going
People,
over yeah, well,
people
are you
claim,
going over the document,
they
Francois,
claim to
to say
be
that
educated, so why can you
yeah,
read? I mean, this
to
is
say
not for you to even read. Take it home.
eh,
You take
exactly.
it home
Then when I will
and
go to my
read
brother
over.
to say, okay, this document you give it to me. Now I gotta take the document to our chief, to our lawyer in the country.
Yeah,
Okay. My lawyer gonna look at it. When my lawyer look at it, then I send it to the legislature. Legislature gonna go over it. Then we're gonna get back to you because whatsoever I sign here is a binding agreement that my people are going to be tied to. So I can't just sit here because we come here after all this talking. Then you ask me to just sign a document. I sign to that document, and this is how African leaders are trapped. Okay, African leaders have been trapped like this in all over in
But
all the
my
agreement.
you
Yeah,
can blame that. You see, if you go to the bank to take a loan in this country, they will have a small black print. If left for you to read before you sign. Now, in the case of Liberia, this the agreement is always the person who's going to sign what he getting his 10% cut. So he does not care for the citizen.
in most cases,
It,
the concession are prepared by somebody by the company that come into the country, not even your
yes,
government.
yes.
Okay,
So
not
they,
even your
they bring
government.
out Western style to put out small print that you would not want to read, and then you sign. And now when something backfire, y'all go to court, they will win you. Because
No,
what?
you can't. No, you can't win. You can't win like that, Paul. For
Yes, but
example, I'll give you an example, Paul. You see, like this white rooster that we talked about a few days ago, right? That's one thing I take from him, and I respect. He go all around the world with all these uh, countries that America had agreement with. He said, no, this contract doesn't suit me. Even the same thing will happen to Firestone. If you got a brave leader in Liberia to say, hey, Firestone, wait a minute. How did you get the extension on an airline for another
but
25 years?
that's the difference. The person who signed that agreement, they have already gotten that 10%. They don't care for you.
Yeah, but Paul,
You
I
see
said
what?
the contract can be revisited.
Yes.
It can be
So
I mean,
revisited and negotiated.
it's
contract.
a
I mean, it's not easy to revisit
that's
a concession or contract at
it's
10,
a
15, 20 years.
50
Legally,
50-year contract.
it's not what the people should have done. I think we should have set a benchmark for 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. I didn't read what 5 years. You cannot get anything of. I mean, it's not feasible getting five. Business wise, nobody want to get an investment for 5 years.
For
But,
At
5 years.
least 10 years.
Nobody will.
France said in the Western country, 5 years is because what happened, like UK, for example, after every 5 years, get new government. So this if you they set the
Yeah,
standard that you have 5-year contract because if the new government come and feel that something is not right, they can review that contract. But if you give the person 25 years and you know,
yeah, but Paul, certain investment, the investor will go for a long time contract. For example, like in mining, right? Like in heavy agriculture, okay? Like in heavy production, they will go for a long time contract. They won't come take few $1 billion, come to your country, invest, and you get a 5-year contract. No, they will be expecting 10, 15, 20 years contract. But the problem is where the cheating went in a contract that favor you. For example, like this thing we call gold. You can come to me, you taking my gold, and you only give me some paper note, okay, and you taking my gold away that got more value than a paper note. That's what the problem is. when our ministers, foreign minister, and finance minister go to do the negotiation and they get these shitty money, $2-3 million here and there, and then they compromise the whole country. And then when you go before the legislature, and I hear Dylan the other day talking about, oh yeah, there's nothing we can do about these contracts and stuff, these concessions. But you people went over these documents. That's what the problem is. So you people were blind. You couldn't understand the language in the document.
No,
Are
they
you
were not blind. Mark, you still don't get. They were not blind. They had a brown envelope. When you get a brown envelope, you don't care for the people. Then in the end, you come and cry wolf to the people. That's what
I
they
understand
did.
that they got a brown envelope, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is the shot more you are making where you blind. Okay, he
Well,
wasn't blind, but
they
to
were
the
not blind.
Liberian people, they think this guy is a smart guy, and you understand. But this is not a smart dude. But he played on the intelligence of the Liberian people, pretending to be smart. Okay.
Okay, guys. I mean,
That's
that made
it.
some progress because the major problem for most of our concessions being so anti the population and counterproductive is rather corruption. 'Cause, I mean, all the contracts the
Exactly.
the APM terminal, APM getting money. They start crying afterwards. No, they start crying. The B Martin came. They came. They get them money. They had another. I had another. It was another name before, and they took over. And then as a meter on the board, everybody cars. And so
Yeah.
look, they gave 200 million, and that's what they posting. 200 million.
You got this
Liberia
other
is
guy in the country called Jetty. Jetty in the country, he bring a lot of Pakistan, bring a lot of Indian people in the country. The
yeah.
old Jetty creating jobs that's what we reserve for Liberian people.
And
Okay.
Liberians, we are noun people. The 200 million is for now. Why you in the future be getting 1 point more billion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are noun people.
Even there are other areas that are not being explored in Liberia. Explore, okay, where you could go and look for technician out there and invest in your own gold mining. Okay, but you're not doing it. You're waiting for somebody to come in the country with some chicken change and tell you, say, oh yeah, they come here to do they want to invest in mining, and you get a 20-year contract and they take away. If you get somebody 1.5 billion, the person is making 1.5 billion dollars a year, and you get that person 25-year contract, that person is working away with $25.7 billion within that 25-year term. And check how much you get for that 300 million, or 200 million they give you.
But anyway, guys, let's go
Yeah.
to the natural resources. This is in line with the whole, uh, employment opportunities, and what's our resources, natural resources. We as a country, we cannot even protect our own natural resources. Can you
But
imagine that? Everything going also. The Chinese are taking over. Everybody bringing excavator in the country. It passing by the security people, the custom
Yeah,
immigration people.
excavator entering your country, like to say that mosquito passing through and
Yeah,
a mosquito net.
and nobody know.
Okay,
You go there to
how
see,
the excavator enter the country?
and there's no money policy. Anti antecedent money is so prevalent in the country. Everybody taking. I know, Liberia is so endowed with resources, but we cannot protect it. Our people so poor. We are a laughing stock of the white man, the Western world. Our neighbors laughing at us.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
Sarah Loon.
my man, that closer, yeah. That
Now
closer.
the thing is,
Yeah, man.
the thing is, our natural resources. Friends, the people themselves that you're talking about today, or that you're talking for today, they themselves are the problem. Because if you try to stand up for what is right, they're gonna tell you, say, look at it, man. He come with the Holy Bible. That's what they're gonna tell you. Okay, the same people that you're gonna tell, say, no, this thing is not supposed to be done like this. This is how it's supposed to be done. And where I come from, that is why the people that benefit, they live good. They're gonna tell you, say, okay, the other one, you're gonna stay long inside. They're gonna be giving you the kind of crosswords and stuff. They
I
themselves are the
mean, let
problem.
close, man. Let close. And friends, just to lay dating on Sunday, I have Counselor Masu Mami, who is a counselor here, will be on this discussion on Sunday. Let close the show, bro.
Carolyn Cooper or
Yeah,
Mabia.
Mami,
Okay.
yeah. So she'll be here with us on Sunday,
Okay,
guys.
guys. We have gone an hour and
Yeah,
30 minutes on this show
yeah.
tonight. So,
Let's go.
your closing comments.
Well, for me, I think the president should start crying wolf and invest heavily in agriculture. That's his strength, and then we can start doing something instead of begging America to give up money. That would be my closing argument, and I'll see you all next week.
Yeah,
Okay.
but my closing. I mean, this card is a good shit that the government could learn from, and how they call it, say, and redouble the energy, for example, in all this area that they fail. Because if they want to do the people work, these are areas that they can improve on. And if they improve on the area, even say 50%, you see the country gonna turn around and gonna be heading in a different direction. But if they are not serious to revisit the card and take it in a negative way, then it's gonna be bad for them the next coming year. And the government too themselves, they need to. And the last thing is that I will continue to preach the message. What the CDC did to their own party, I think that's a strong message that will help to change Liberia. Every
Yeah,
time you elect a government to power, and that government come to power, for example, like the Unity Partisan, 2029 come, if the government doesn't do well, they vote them out and vote in another government. That would be a good thing that Liberia set example with. The Liberian people set example with. So
okay.
that's my closing. And I think those of our audience that were watching tonight.
Yeah, my closing will be is that look, the highlight of the MCC scorecard is the rule of law and the protection of our resources. I hope that the government can take cue from this thing, as you all said, and then, hey, I mean, there will be a better nation. But otherwise, these people they know everything. They won't do so, guys. I'll see you guys, and then we can see them on tomorrow. I wouldn't be hosting the show because I'll have somewhere else to go. But we'll see on Sunday.
On Sunday,
We're talking
definitely.
it back, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Bye for now.